My name is Sophia, and as if you don't know me, I work for the Cleveland Clinic as a senior biostatistician. So today my talk will be pipes in R. Before I start, I would like to know how many of you use the forward pipe operator? Okay, almost half of you. So how many of you know the magrittr package? Okay, a couple. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, for those of you who have never used the forward pipe operator, I'll give you guys a very simple example. This is a code I had like 2 years ago when I started or just about to start my working, and this code is very messy and I think it's it's not easy to use. So you don't have to know what I'm doing here, but you can see I'm creating 9 objects and I have 10 lines of code. But after I met with the forward operator, I cut it down to 5 lines of code, and I also have 1 object, and that is the one for my output. So just at the beginning, I wanted to show you this pipe operator, and this package can make your code very clean and very clear, and also it can save you a lot of space and also save your time. So that's why I recommend the magrittr package. Another thing is it will get confusing or messy when we have the functions, like nested functions inside the functions and inside the functions. So by using magrittr package, you can line it here. After you use it, you can line it up. So you can just have one function after one function, and you read it from the left to right. I think in this way it's easy to code, and it's also easy for people to read. So today I will introduce the forward pipeline operator for those of you who don't know it, and also I will introduce other tools in this magrittr package, and also I will introduce a little bit about the pipr, which is another pipeline package. So this weird thing for me here is a forward pipe operator, and this is the main operator. It comes from the magrittr package and then introduced to the player package. So what does it do here is it passed A as an object to B function, and A will be the first agreement of the B function. As I'm showing here, you're passing F to the F function, and this is equivalent to you have the X inside of the F function, and it is the first agreement. Here is an example. I'm taking a mean of this length. You can also do it using the pipeline. So what if it is not the first agreement? You're thinking maybe it is a second agreement. Then you can use a dot. You put a dot into your function to replace wherever you wanted to put your object. So here I passed y into the function have x as my first agreement, and then I have a dot here. This is equivalent to I have x as my first agreement and the y as my second agreement. And this here is more example. So I'm gonna take a summary of the linear regression of these 2 variables, and this is equivalent to you write down the data set first, and then you write down your first function. You have the dot here to replace your data here, and then you pass it to the summary function. I have a more complex example here. I find the forward operator is very good for data cleaning, and I use it a lot. So in this case, I'm trying to manipulating my data set and then I select a subset of it, and then I grouped it, and then I sort it. So even if you have never used the forward operator before, I guess you can have an idea what I'm doing here, because all the functions I used is listed on the left side. So it's very easy to read, and for me it's very easy to code, because I don't need to. I can write in the same order that I thought. Yeah, this is a forward operator. Does anybody of you have any questions? Okay, we'll continue to the T operator. T operator is another operator that comes from the magrittr package. So when you pass A as agreement to your B function, what if your B function is a print, plot, or save? The data set you have is not a matrix or a data frame. Therefore, you cannot continue passing to your C function. In this way, you can use a T operator. So instead of passing the result of your B function, you can come back to A, and after running B function, you come back to A and pass A, continue passing A to your C function. Here is an example. I'm making a matrix, and then I wanted to plot it, and I wanted to see the internal detail of it. So I have a plot function here, and I have str function here. If I just use the forward operator, I can only get a plot, but I get nothing from the str function. In this case, because what I put my matrix into my plot function, the result I got is a plot. It cannot get a plot. The str function cannot get anything from the plot. So instead, I will change my operator here to a T operator, which is in this case. So after I passing my matrix to a plot, and I got my plot, it come back to my matrix again, and then pass it to my str function. So in this case, we're able to see the internal detail of my matrix. The third operator I have here is called sorry, I forgot the name. It's called a exposition operator. So in a lot of cases, for example, for a lot of functions, for example, the linear regression, you have the data set. You have a data set. You need to have a data set agreement inside of your function, and then by using this operator, you don't need to specify your data name in the function, because it can explode it automatically. And here is the example. This is what I use for like a forward pipe operator. I need to specify like what's the data with a dot here. But by using the exposition operator, I don't have to do it. It automatically exploded. The third operator I have here is called a compound assignment operator. So this is actually an easy one, and this is very what does it do is when you pass out a object, you use the B function, then it returns a result back to your A object. It's basically a replacement of your object. So I find it is confusing sometimes, and this operator is not the one. I don't really use this one, because I find if I use it in this way, I could be like much easier for me to read. So basically, there are four operators, and it's very easy to use. And this goes very well. The magrittr package or the pipeline operator goes very well with the tidyverse package. And tidyverse package is basically a suite of tools. It's a package of packages that that is very useful. For example, there are some very famous packages like ggplot or dplayer comes from this package. If you have time, you can explore it sometime a little bit. And next, I like to talk about what's the difference between the magrittr package and another package called pepr package. Magrittr is very popular and lots of people use it, but for pepr, there are not many people use it, but actually it is very powerful. There are some differences. For the first one is the operator is different. This is the for operator in magrittr package, and you can see there is a little bit difference here in the pepr operator. And there is one good thing about pepr operator is it has a pipe function and also have a pipeline function. So in the pipeline function, you don't even need to have an operator. You can just list the function in the order that you wanted to use it. And also there is another difference between magrittr package and pepr package is for magrittr package you can only have one output, but for pepr by using the pipeline function you can have multiple outputs. And the third difference is the timing. So I ran a little bit test. This red one is a magrittr package, and this green and blue one is from the pepr. The green one I use the pepr pipeline operator, and then the blue one I use a pipeline function, which you have which is a so this one is a green one, this one is a blue one. As you can see, magrittr package is a little bit slower than pepr. But I think for magrittr package, it's very flexible and it's very popular. For a start, I would recommend magrittr. And then when you have more needs or you want to have more advanced coding, then you can come back to pepr. This is basically what I'm gonna talk about today, and I have some links if you're interested. You can explore by yourself. So magrittr package is very easy to read and very easy to use. So I think if you read up on it or try a little bit examples on yourself, then you will turn to sold on it. If you have any comments or insights, you're welcome to contact me, and this is my email address. So do you have any questions? Sure. Sure.
So is it just, I don't know how R processes the pipe versus something like nested functions. Can you comment on, is it equally efficient, or is use of memory more efficient with using pipes than having nested functions, or is there any difference at all?
I did run a little bit test, but it's a very simple one. I didn't put it here because by using magrittr package, it's a little bit slower than I thought. Yeah.
But in terms of memory usage, is it about the same, or they don't publish any difference?
In that case, I don't know. Okay. Sorry. Sure.
Are the two packages, the magrittr and the pepr, compatible?
I think it's pretty much compatible. The only difference is if you want to have multiple outputs, or like in pepr, if you write it in this way, the pepr function, you can have a very nested function inside of it. So in that way, I think pepr is better than magrittr package. Okay. Yeah. Rather than that, it's a similar thing. Sure.
So you talked about the $sign operator kind of filling in the data frame. Does that work sort of? It's like, what is it, with or whatever? So there's an argument in R already where you can say something like, with this data frame, go do this, and you don't have to qualify the variables anymore. So does it work on anything, or just on stuff that has an explicit data frame argument?
So are you talking about this?
Could we do iris $sign operator mean or something like that?
Iris $sign. Uh,
I think it does work the same way as with.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
oh yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically, yeah, it just attaches with
The data frame to the
Yeah.
namespace. Thank you.
Okay, so let's say if there is a function which needs like 2 arguments, okay?
Uh-huh.
So is there a way we can pass through a pipeline or through a pipe like 2 objects to that?
No. No, not in magrittr package or not in pepr. Yeah.
Let the pipe
Let's say I
pass
use
the first.
You could wrap the function and then pass a list through the pipeline, and then use the list to fill in arguments.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you.